Hey, it's Gwyn and welcome back to the Revolver Beatles channel, wrapping up the year. I hope you had a good Christmas and perhaps you got a couple of Beatley items under the Christmas tree. I thought I'd just wrap up this year by giving some very personal and subjective viewpoints on my highlights of the year in terms of Beatle releases. So in the format of an award ceremony, here we go. So the first award is the Mr. Kite Award for Best Panel or Discussion. There have been some really good ones this year. I've got to say that some notable mentions before I announce the winner. Kevin Harrington and Chris O'Dell plus May Pang at the Liverpool convention this year were both really entertaining and informative. Really good discussions from them. I was also lucky enough earlier in the year to go and see Colin Hall and broadcasting legend Bob Harris discuss Colin's book, The Songs the Beatles Gave Away. That was a really entertaining evening, full of great anecdotes from both Colin and from Bob, and was really, really worth the admission. But the award for the best panel or discussion goes to Chris Shaw and what turned out to be the very final Egg Pod. Starting as a podcast a few years back, it's sorely missed, I think, in the Beatle community. It was a great event, as it has been on the previous year, and I think really will leave a bit of a hole in the Beatle calendar from now on. I think that there really is a place for a similar event in London, which is, to be honest, severely lacking. An event that brings Beatle fans together in a meaningful way. But the show was fantastic guests. You had Samira Ahmed, Stuart McConey, David Quantick, and of course the one and only Mark Lewison there to add some gravitas and expertise to the proceedings. But overall, it was a fantastic event. Will be severely missed, and I hope there is something that can come up and take its place, but it will be a hard ask. So the next award is the Sir Frankie Crisp Award for New Release. And few contenders for new music per se, but we did have the Crooked Boy EP by Ringo, which was very welcome, and I thought a really good effort. Looking forward to his new album in the new year, Look Up, which is just a matter of days away, to be honest. And I know it's not exactly new music, but for me, there has to be only one winner, and that is the One Hand Clapping LP. I know it's been available on bootlegs for many, many years, but to have it as an official release, it really does prove to be one of the very best albums that you can buy that is done by Wings. Highlights for me on the album were 1985 and the majestic rocker Soily. So for me, One Hand Clapping, the LP, gets the nod. The Jeremy Hillary Boob PhD Award for Best Beatle Book goes to Alan Cozen and Adrian Sinclair for the McCartney Legacy Volume 2. Now, I've got it, and I haven't even got all the way through it, but I think it is a worthy follow-up to Volume 1, and I can't wait for the next volume. It's a fabulous book, and I'm really enjoying it. A full review to follow early in the new year, I hope. Other notable releases in book form this year are by Luca Parisi and Elliot Mintz, but for me, McCartney Legacy has to be the winner this year. We move on now to the Dick Lester Best Movie or Documentary film, and there are three contenders, I guess, this year for the top spot. We've got Midas Man, Beatles 64, and also One Hand Clapping. And for me, it's One Hand Clapping. Seeing that on the big screen, and I know that there are compromises in terms of quality, converting video to film, but the music was what made it, and hearing it in a big cinema or in a cinema was absolutely spectacular. And I think there are enough deficiencies in Beatles 64 and Midas Man that One Hand Clapping will win all day long. So for me, It's one hand clapping again. So a bit of an oddity of an award, but I think it deserves a mention. So winning in a field of one for the Mean Mr. Mustard Award for Best Exhibition, I'm going to give it to Yoko Ono, Music of the Mind. Now, myself and Revolver teammates Phil Wood and Rob Turner went to see this late on in the summer. In fact, I think it was the last day of the exhibition. And it not only turned out to be really educational and a great learning experience, but a lot of fun too. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And if it's coming to a city near you, I'd highly recommend you going along and seeing it if you can. So in recognition of excellence, we have the George Martin Award for Best Box Set. 3 contenders really. We've got the Beatles US mono LPs of 1964. We've got Mind Games, and we've also got Living in the Material World. Well, I enjoyed all 3. The Beatles mono box set I thought was great. I hadn't got any of those albums, so to listen to them in their original format on LP in mono and to have them as an addition to my collection was really, really great. Loved them all and still playing them. So a really good item, thoroughly enjoyed it, but it's not my winner. Neither too is Mind Games, an album which I've always loved, but I really enjoy a whole lot more having heard the box set release. It was absolutely superb, some great tracks on it, and a really good remix of the album. The quality of remixing by Paul Hicks is superb. The formats, it's released in multi-formats, as we know all these releases are, but the Lennon Estate started off the Mind Games 2024 experience by first of all releasing for Record Store Day the Mind Games EP, which again came in a couple of different formats. Then we had the box set itself, along with various vinyl versions as well, plus the Cube. And just when you thought that the Cube was the ultimate and couldn't be topped, well, then we get the meditation mixes. So we really couldn't have had any more Mind Games this year. But in essence, the main deluxe box set was a fabulous item. Paul Hicks's remix was fantastic. And for what many considered to be a middle ranking Lennon LP, this brought back this album to life for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a terrific remix, discovered tracks or rediscovered tracks that I'd forgotten, so it was a great experience. But I have to say, for me, the winner of Best Box Set of the year is Living in the Material World, which I thought was sublime. This has always been an album I've loved, but I just love it all the more. The remix was fantastic, and the additional tracks also complemented the main album's release perfectly. So for me, Living in the Material World is the best box set of the year. What we're going to get in 2025, heaven only knows. We were pretty much surprised with some of the things we got this year, but I think overall we can say that we've been very lucky with the releases we've got. So another bit of an oddball award, but I think it's worthy. We've got the Dr. Winston O'Boogie You Should Have Been There moment. So this is, for me, the highlight of the year in terms of any Beatle event, and that was seeing Paul at the O2. I missed out by one day getting to see Ringo and Ronnie, who arrived for the final show of the tour on the Thursday, but my Wednesday night concert was absolutely fantastic. It's been 9 years since I'd seen Paul live, and I have to say I was a little bit apprehensive as to how his voice would stand up, but stand up it did. He put on a fantastic show. Song selection was brilliant, particularly including Wonderful Christmas Time, which I think got one of the biggest cheers of the night. But overall was an amazing show, and let's just hope he carries on, and Ringo too, because we ought to just wrap these guys up in cotton wool and enjoy them as much as we possibly can. And so we come to the final award, and this is the Billy Shears Help from My Friends Award, which goes to you, the Beatle community. I had no intention of starting a YouTube channel this year, but hey, events went one way and another, and here I am. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it, but I couldn't have done it without encouragement and support, which I've got in heaps. I've got to say that there are other YouTube creators out there who have been for years and years an inspiration, and I thoroughly enjoyed their content. So jumping on the bandwagon was a little bit of a risky process for me, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've got to say that, you know, I've got some terrific feedback. So some notable shout outs. If I can thank Rob Turner and Phil Wood, who for well over 40 years now have been on this Revolver journey with me. Also special thanks to Laurie Kay and to Mikey Arugla, who have contributed their time and some content to the channel. Thank you very much. Also some other shout outs to Beatley Tone, to Beatle Dave and Beatle Brad, who have been in touch and given me great encouragement and support, and they are an inspiration to me as well. I really enjoy their content, as well as the likes of Andrew Dixon and Andrew from Parlogram Auctions and a host of others that you and I enjoy. It really is a special place that we have here, this Beatle community online on YouTube. And a thank you particularly to you if you've been following this channel and you've liked and subscribed. It's never too late to do it, by the way. Thank you very much. And I hope that you and yours have a fantastic 2025. Who knows what we're going to get in the way of releases and Beatle events this year. But if you can stay tuned to this channel, I hope to bring it to you as much as possible. As I said, this is a very, very personal viewpoint on all of these awards, and I'm quite happy to pick up and have a discussion with any of you. So please leave your comments down below and we can pick up the discussion. What do you think were your highlights of 2024? Let me know what you would give an award to. What were your highlights of the year? And perhaps we can discuss maybe what we might expect in 2025. All that's left for me to do is to wish you a very, very happy new year, and I hope you have a healthy and safe new year, and that we can all enjoy some fantastic Beatle events and music and items throughout the coming year. Until then, bye for now.